Hi everyone, welcome to the fifth Zero to Somewhere. And last week I finally finished the task tracker app, which I for now call the Daily Planner. And this is what it looks like right now. It's I built it centered on the process of maintaining a schedule. So you have these slots, in my case, four of them, and you can basically slot the existing tasks into these slots. And that's the first part of it. And the second part is these progress, which is you can uh, add progress into a task, because I personally find that very motivating to see how long I've been working on something, so that I put even more effort into like pushing it across. So basically, these are the two things that it's focused on, which is maintaining a schedule and keeping track of the progress that's already sunk into the existing tasks to encourage to do more. My original plan was to build the app to this level and to release it for testing, but I finished the app last week and started using it myself, and immediately I ran into a bunch of bugs and a whole bunch of limitations about it. And so I don't think it's ready for release just yet, because if I release it, I will get basically the same things I discovered on my own as feedback. So I will continue to work on this. I will continue to polish it. And effectively, I still feel like the app doesn't fulfill the core purpose I built it for. So I think that will be the real metric to determine whether I should release it or not, is whether it will actually achieve the purpose I built it for. So I'll continue improving the app to try and achieve this purpose, and hopefully I will get to a point where it helps me to begin with, and then I can release it so that it actually can be useful to someone else as well. So my observation so far is that it's really interesting how certain concepts seem like they are good, and then you actually use them and realize that it doesn't really make sense, or it doesn't really work the way that you imagine it would. For example, the current version of the app has this concept of um, ending the current day, where you would end the current day and then plan the next day. And already I've found that it's quite limiting in the fact that sometimes I want to plan the next day in advance. I don't necessarily want to end the current day. I want to just plan the next day already. And also sometimes I would, because the only way to move to the next day or plan the next day is to end it, I would end the day early and then actually do some stuff later, which then the progress cannot be tracked because you can't go back. You can't go back to the previous day. So this concept, for example, I thought would be a good idea, but it's not. And it's just maybe a reminder of something I learned from the previous version of this app that I built, which is that if you put too many constraints in, it just becomes frustrating, and you are not able to use it the way you would like, and then you get a bit dejected because you are not able to track your progress properly, and then you stop using it altogether, which is sort of what happened the last time I built this app, and I basically stopped using it myself as well. Which also just goes to show that iteration is really the best way to build software. You have to build something, try it, adjust it, build something different, try that, and just keep polishing on and on until you get to something that actually works. And which brings me to my second point, which is that I've forgotten just how long it takes to build a proper app. Um, because it takes a lot of time for an app or anything, I guess, to be great, or actually basically great. Yeah. It's very easy to build something for one-time use, like you just hack something up. It doesn't need to work properly even. You can just comment stuff out, get it to run somehow. So it's very easy to make something to work just once. It becomes a bit harder to make it work multiple times consistently. Then it gets even harder if you want to deploy it and have multiple people use it, people who are not you. And then it becomes insanely difficult to make something that is actually understandable and usable by a lot of people. And I think this is basically a spectrum, right? Where you have just a script on one hand and an actual product on the other. And I think most of the software out there gets stuck somewhere in the middle, where you just have something that works for multiple users. It's not understandable, it's not easy to use, it's not fun, but it works. Many people can use it, and most, I think, software development just stops at that point because, well, objectively the objective is fulfilled. The app does work for people, but is it good? No. So yeah, I would have to sink a lot more effort into actually making this actually useful and usable for people. And while I can release the current output right now, well, to be honest, the current version of the site is live. It can be used by multiple people, but it's not, I don't think it will be any useful for anyone just yet. So my next steps are to continue polishing the time tracker to basically address some of the issues that I found while using it myself. And at the same time, I will move it into the back burner because it's becoming quite clear to me that this is gonna take a lot longer than I imagined. So I will continue working on it slowly, but I will then shift my main focus towards getting the front-end development blog running, as I mentioned before, because that is what will truly help me build an audience and to help me actually build something that I generate some money, because this time tracker app probably is not going to do that. And yeah, so my next steps would be to actually start researching the front end and web development forums so that I can figure out some of the concerns that people have and maybe write a blog post to help them out, to address those concerns, so that I actually write something useful and not just something I imagine to be useful. And on the other hand, I will also get back to mentoring. It's something I've neglected, if I'm honest, in the last week and a half, 2 weeks ish, as I built this app. And I really need to get back to it because that is what makes me money. And yeah, without it, I'm just burning money without any income, and I need at least a way to slow it down. So that's it for today, and catch you next time.